You are live. What is going on, everybody? RogersBase here. Hello, and welcome to my live reaction to One Piece manga chapter 1140. I am super excited for this one. Again, it's just one of those weeks where it's like, I have not seen anything related to One Piece at all. I feel like it's been crazy busy with all the stuff with Yakuza, and then Monster Hunter, and all the other streams. Pokemon Presents coming up, the new Honkai update. It has just been so busy, and there's been so much content, but that's a good thing because that means less of a chance for me to be spoiled and stuff. And like I said, I haven't seen anything about this. I didn't even see people like alluding to spoilers earlier this week, which could be a good thing, but also might be a bad thing because that might mean that maybe the chapter wasn't super hyped. But either way, we're gonna find this out. We're gonna read it for the first time. Here we go. Viz 1140. Let's open this sucker up. Also, let me get the chat open as well. Make sure that's working. Perfect. All right. One Piece 1140. This one is titled Scopper Gaban. So again, it's gotta be hype. I feel like maybe the reason people weren't talking about it was because they just didn't want to spoil people, but I'm like, it's gotta be hype if we're getting Luffy versus Scopper for that key last chapter. So here we go. Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 26. Ulti, if anything happens to Pepe, I'll hunt you down to the depths of hell and beat you to death. Now, where is Pepe on here? I know we saw the two of them laying on the ground last chapter. I thought it was horrible. I went back and watched the VOD of last week's afterwards. I could not believe that I didn't pick up upon the first read that was Ulti and Pepe laying there on the ground. I thought it was Yamato and somebody else and they were going to sneak attack. So the fact that it was the two of them and had to be pointed out by the chat, I was like, ugh. I'm chalking it up to the fact that I didn't have coffee yet or I wasn't streaming or whatever yet, and it's fine. But we're chilling, we're good, we're living. Here we go. Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 26. You can see Ulti there, all chained up, swords, who's playing a roulette game, doesn't matter, Yamato's gonna beat him. So here we go. How come we have to take the key from you? Just give it. And Rodo's like, sir, yeah, what is the meaning of this? What's wrong? Can't you do it? Ooh, okay. Getting a little feisty. You want to fight Luffy, and you can see all the different treasure boxes open and around him. And Luffy hops out of his palm. You can see Luffy and you can see Nami and Zoro sitting there. Nami screaming out for Luffy as he goes, all right, that's it. Hopping on down, and Zoro's thinking back to what Colin said, saying, my dad used to be a pirate. He can even hold his own against the Elbaf warriors. And Zoro's looking kind of concerned, thinking back to what Colin said and being like, okay, wait a minute, can Luffy handle this? Of course he can. It's our boy Luffy. He can go Gear 5, we're gonna be fine. All right, here we go. So you can see Luffy stretches out his arms, trying to get past him, but he didn't even move. So he just slowly dodged out of the way. Literally same stance, same everything, just swerving over to the side with the key. And you can see Luffy trying to hit him, but he's just bobbing and weaving. His observation hockey's too strong. Listen, old man, I just want to get this to Loki so I can go back to the feast. Well, then take it from me then. Bro, okay. All right, a little bit of hype from Gaban. Let's go. And Luffy's charging up another punch. I will, and just as he's about to punch, whoom, bam, slamming down with the key again. You can see the armament. Actually, wait a minute. Wait a minute, hold on, my mouse is about to fall off. Wait a minute. Luffy punches, Gaban is in the air with the key, and you could literally see the coating coming onto the key at that point as he's swishing up through the air, and Luffy starts exclaiming, hockey, okay, but you could see the crackling. My guy's got conquerors. So, see, this is what I was saying during last week's reaction. I straight up said this. I said, during last week's, I said maybe he's going to have some type of advanced conqueror's hockey, and that's going to be the last key to fully utilizing Luffy's abilities. Again, you could see the crackle coming off of it. And again, if Rayleigh has it, and Roger had it, and he's the other wing of the Pirate King for Roger, he's got to have it. So he's slamming down to the ground, armament hockey coated giant key for Loki, slamming down on Luffy, conqueror's hockey, lightning emanating from it, and you just hear, "Bwee-oh!" as he slams on down. Wait, sir, yeah. Are you kidding me, Luffy? Luffy got hit, and he pops out of the rubble, screaming. That's a nifty straw hat you got there. Meanwhile, Gaban just hopping on back through all the rubble against all these treasure chests. It'll look better on you than that helmet, I bet. Huh? What is even happening here? Luffy, all his arms are going crazy. Yeah, it's because the treasure, it's the treasure I'm holding for Shanks. Now give me that key. And he's just going all out now. He's trying his best to just grab him. And meanwhile, Gaban's just zipping all over the place, zooming through everything. You're only holding on to it. He didn't give it to you? Cheapskate. You could see more of him going through the sky. I actually love the way Oda's drawing the arms and the hands in this panel as well on the top of page 5, where you can see all the different Luffy arms stretching out everywhere. Very, very cool. And he says, no, dummy, that's not what it means. Don't call Shanks a cheapskate. You have no idea about him. Meanwhile, little as you know, Gaban's huffing a little bit and laughing. You like to talk, boy, shoving the key right into Luffy's skull. And you see, popping out the back. So wait a minute. So that wasn't Gaban saying Buiho earlier. That was actually Luffy's exclamation of pain. So he's getting the key just completely rammed into his face. Full armament hockey, still crackling. Gonna turn the key into Luffy's head. What is this? You like to talk, boy. Bro, what? Okay, so the key goes slamming down. Zoro's like, wait a minute. And Gaban's whipping out the axes. Here they come. Yaso Takeru. Okay. I mean, he seems like he's hardly even breaking a sweat, too, which is kind of crazy. If we're seeing Gaban do all that, because I feel like, well, I'll wait. I'll get through my reaction, and then I'll share my thoughts about this. But I just want to say right at the very beginning of this, I feel like Gaban stocks are way, 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 way up right now. Way, 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 way up. This is ridiculous. The fact he's able to do all this right now is insane. All right, so he's whipping the axes out. He's looking back up. Look out, Luffy. And then you can see more of the axes. Slicing on over towards Luffy. Cutting up the treasure boxes. And it looks like Zoro's now jumping in too. So we're getting 2v1 now. Zoro and Luffy against Gaban. Okay. And you see the kappa over the top, and then ba-bam on the bottom of the screen as he breaks out the twin hatchets. Dude, Gaban, man. So page 8 and 9 is where I am right now. You can see a whole pillar of the castle getting sliced off by that Yaso Takeru attack. He's got a good crew. Huh? Oroto's looking there. Nami's shocked. Zoro and Luffy going out. You can see the Conqueror's Hockey. Oh, dude. 2v1. 2 Conqueror's Hockey users versus Gaban. And Luffy's going full Gear 5 now. He said, okay, I can't hold off any longer. Gear 5 Luffy and Zoro versus Gaban. Gaban, you can see the little sunglasses going down a bit. You can see the flames with the scar above him saying, indeed, all in white. Because again, he knows the truth about the world. Gaban was present at the discovery of the One Piece with Roger where they were too early. So he knows about the stuff with Nika. And obviously he lived here on Elbaf. So he knows all the stuff regarding the mural and the history and the Harley and everything. Man, oh man. Dude. And you can see everything crumbling down from the sky right now. Bricks and bricks falling. Zoro screaming, you're gonna get it now. And then Luffy punching on down. Zoro sliding down. Then you can see the little glint from Gaban's eye as he's going, I yield. What? You yield? What do you mean? What do you mean you yield? Wait. You got the pillar of the castle. You got Nami and Rodo freaked out. Maybe he just wanted to wait until Gear 5 came out, and then he was like, all right, chill, I'll stop. Now I know you're Nika. I'll give you the key. I feel like this panel is going to be crazy misinterpreted. I'm sure we're going to get into this in the theory portion and in the super chats. But Zoro entering the fight, even after that one line of him saying, indeed, all in white, obviously referring to Luffy, making a discovery there, and then seeing the crumbling down to the ground, and the little glint in his eye. Gaban saying, I yield. and stopping after Zoro enters the fight? I don't like what that's going to do to the community. This panel right here, it's good for the chapter. It's hype. And I understand what this panel means. But this is for sure going to get taken out of context and used almost as a feat in every agenda stream that I ever attend. If Gaban stops fighting because Zoro entered the fight. That's crazy. Again, that's not what happened here, though. Very clearly, he made the discovery about Luffy and then chose to stop. But let us continue. Let's read. Let's keep reading. All right. Stop playing games with us, old man. And he's laughing. Gah! Don't get bent out of shape. It's simply a joke. You can't pass this off as a joke after you tried to kill us. And? I mean, are you dead? Good point, Gaban. He said I wasn't even trying. The key you're after is now in your possession. So he already threw the key on over. And he sees it. And meanwhile, Roto's like, Ultra Rare Luffy, if you didn't know, this man is, hey, don't get ahead of yourself, Roto. He's like, don't tell him who I am just yet. If Elbaf is still intact by the time you're leaving this island, come and see me again. Okay. Meanwhile, Roto's like, why would you do that? I never want to see you again. Yeah, you idiot. Thanks for taking us to the key, though. We'll never meet again. They will when they find out who he is, for sure. And meanwhile, you got a flashback with Gaban and Shanks. Wait, Shanks. What makes... Oh, you get Shanks talking about Luffy? Wait, Shanks. What makes you think I'm going to trust this guy? And he goes, haha, good point. Do as you will with him, Gaban. He knew Luffy was coming. He knew he was coming. He still left beforehand, though. He still said he wasn't ready. But he warned him that he was coming. Oh, man. So this is who he was talking to before he left Elbaf, before the whole thing with Kid. What a wild line, too, the we'll never meet again thing. Of course they're going to meet again. Once he finds out, something's obviously going to happen. Gaban's going to help. Ripley's going to be in trouble or something, for sure. Yeah, but Shanks really did. He knew that Luffy was going to win him over. All right, let's continue. Hold on. So we're now back at the Walrus School, and you can see all the kids going, teacher, look. What is it? Bird. Bird. They're all pointing. It's a weird bird. So you see birds all the time. Where? Bro, could you imagine we turn the page and it's like Rouge, and he's got the two little wings and he's descending down into Elbaf? That'd be wild, man. Oh, we're getting more of the God Knights. Oh, of course. Gunko's little clickbait arrow bird. Okay. The Sun World. They even have a school. Served up to us on a platter. I'll make the call. Go on ahead. Okay. What's happening here? So Gunko's making another one of those like transmutation circles things. All right. They're summoning more of the God Knights. Let's see. You get the lightning popping out of it. You're seeing... Oh, we're not going to see them. They're shadowed out. All right, fine. I'm willing to go. Just give me a minute. Where are we leaving from? Where's the Abyss? The Abyss, bro? What? We're getting info. Also, I love that we already have more of them. The fact that we're getting two of these, I thought we were going to get one showing up, and I honestly thought it was going to be at the castle. I didn't think she was going to be summoning them separately. Let's see. Oh, we are getting there. What in the world am I looking at? So we're getting their designs. I mean, aren't we supposed to get some time to change? Or at least this man is still in his boxers. Can we have like an hour? I mean, what happened with the other thing? You know, hey, thank you, by the way. Thank you very, very much. Austin Smith just donated. Please wait until the stream is over, though. Austin Smith just said, Aaron already deleted it. All right. Well, either way, thanks, Austin. I'll get to that in a second. But please wait until the chapter is over before sending me super chats. Thanks. Appreciate it. Here, I'll turn the alerts off temporarily so I'm not getting disturbed. Okay. Can we have an hour? What happens with the other thing? You know, the food situation. We're not letting God starve, are we? Hello? Weird. The signal's not working. Okay. Holy Knight Shepherd Family, Saint Summers. What is it, Gunko? And why are you in my house? They literally summoned this man from his lazy boy chair. And he's sitting in his boxers. He was hearing the call and then already he's here. So immediately summoned him. And Gunko's looking the other way. Uh-oh, I'm in big trouble. So Killingham was running away from something. Summers is from the Shepherd family. And then Holy Knight Remo Shifu family sank Killingham. I'm in big trouble. I'm late. I'm very late. I was half asleep. Where am I supposed to go again? And you can see him. He looks almost like he's in like an Impel Down outfit a little bit, doesn't he? With the black slacks and the shoes and everything. Okay. I'm late. I'm very late. And you can see the two of them arriving on the bottom. Gunko's looking the other way because he doesn't want to look at St. Summers in his boxers. Shamrock's still looking over. St. Killingham's still zooming. And the two of them are just looking like, wait, we're in Elbaf right now? So the fact that they weren't even aware and that it happened right away, you know they mean business. So I'd also want to know what the heck is going on with Killingham. What kind of devil fruit is that? Or is that even a devil fruit at all? Like, what's going on there? He looks like a Monster Hunter monster. I know the one I'm thinking of. It's like the unicorn thing with the whiskers. That's weird, but all right, let us continue. We're in Elbaf. Okay, now they're getting dressed. Who grabbed my entire room, sofa included? I mean, really? And you can see him still getting dressed. Gunko's still looking the other way. So this is the land of the giants. It's huge. We only needed one. So why are there two of you? Oh, so she wasn't trying to get both. Wait, what? Because you're going back, Commander. I am? Orders from above. Wait, did Gunko not know this? Or is this further proof that maybe Emu's inside Gunko? What's happening here? We only needed one. Why are there two of you? Because you're going back, Commander. So Shamrock's heading on out of here. So Luffy's never even going to see Shamrock? I am. Orders from above. That's the deal. The situation in the Holy Land is dire. It's all, because the Revs are making their move. Is that what it's going to be? The situation in the Holy Land is rather dire. It's all gone wrong ever since the Reverie. Your presence there will be a benefit, Shamrock. Also, of course things are going wrong because we just had a Gorosei die. Then his dad took over. Half the Holy Knights are over here in Elbaf. Now there's 4 of them here. One of them's got to go back. Your presence there will be a benefit. So what's the situation in the mission? And what were you doing in this unaffiliated country? Paying a visit to Harold's grave? Why would... Okay. So now this one, what's his name again? Summers, St. Summers. He's all dressed up, back in his full outfit. I love the rose on there, all the little badges too. I'm assuming those are people that were killed. And he's got like one of those cool like spiked whips or something that's on the hilt of his sword too. Okay, got it. You want us to kidnap some of the kids and take them to the Holy Land. They're too big to stuff into sacks though. But those without the mark cannot travel through the abyss pentagrams. Okay, so we got a name for them now, abyss pentagrams. That means we're going to have to sail them back. Why you? With your powers, you can make it into a game. To be continued, One Piece 1140 end. I mean, they got a treasure chest there. They're trying to kidnap the kids. Are they trying to make this like God Valley 2.0? Like, is that, which could be really interesting. If that's what Elbaf turns into before Final War, it basically turns into like a God Valley game of them all trying to protect the kids from the Walrus School, which would also make, I guess, review time, which would make a lot of sense because they have been setting up the stuff with the school a lot. And obviously, like, the learnings that are here in Elbaf and all the different books, like that's a huge part of the lore, and like the Harley and the mural that the kids drew previously. So that would actually be a really good way to fold the kids into the overall story if now these God Knights are going after to try to kidnap as many kids as possible, and they're going to make a game out of it, and then the other, Elbathians, all the other giants, and then maybe Luffy and the rest of them are going to go help and stop, and maybe Luffy frees Loki. See, the pacing is moving really, really quick. I feel like the fact that we already got 2 more God Knights now, and we already got the key from Gaban, and they already said their goodbyes, and now they've already arrived on the island and Shamrock is going back. Like, the pacing is schmovin' with this arc. Because realistically, within just a couple chapters, what the heck? Naman coming through with 20 gifted memberships. Let's go. Thank you very, very, very much, Naman. Wow. Holy macro. Coming through gifted memberships to Yami, Megabuster, Crossover, Tom Guy, Integral, Baza, Bonnie, Colin Cat, the other Aaron, Mist, Jacob, King in Black. Welcome. Dylan, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, Naman. Appreciate it. Now, comma. He said, see, but Naman waited until the chapter reaction was over, though. Appreciate it. Wow. Thanks a lot, Naman. Appreciate that. What I will say, though, hold on, going back to what I was saying with the review, is I do feel like we're in a situation in which a lot of these different plot lines, right? The truth about the Harley and the mural that was on the wall and what the people believe in and the truth about what happened with Harold and Loki and now Loki potentially being freed. Obviously, Loki is going to be probably near death by the time that Luffy, Nami, and Zoro go to free him, right? Because Loki, chained to the tree, was being attacked by Gunko, was being attacked by Shamrock, was then attacked by the Cerberus sword. So he's going to be in pretty rough shape by the time we see him. So I don't realistically think he can do much unless we get like a little thing where Chopper's healing him up quick or something. But now, even with Shamrock gone, you've got this new Saint Summers and Saint Killingham here, plus Gunko, all, fiending to try to capture these kids, while we still got to know the truth about what happened with Harold and with Jarl. And again, I feel like all this stuff could probably come to a head in the same moment. Like, I wonder almost if there's going to be a situation paralleling kind of what we got in Dressrosa. Well, remember during Dressrosa, we had that sequence with Don Xinjiao, right? Where Don Xinjiao had like the giant wound on his head, and then Luffy punched it down, and then he went back to normal, and then he became an ally. I'm almost wondering if there's going to be something similar to that with Jarl, right? Well, we're going to see something essentially in which like Jarl maybe gets the axe taken out of his head or the sword from Harold and then remembers what actually happened that day and then maybe goes off on Loki, and then all this kind of folds into an all-out chaos situation here on Elbaf into this like God Valley 2.0 game. There's a lot of interesting stuff here too. The fact also that we got a name officially for what's going on with those devil summons too, with the pentagram, is kind of surprising. Those without the mark cannot travel through the abyss pentagrams. So clearly all these God Knights are marked in some way. See, it's funny because many of you know this. Some of you might not be aware of this if you're only tuning in on Sundays for the One Piece stream. Some of you might not be aware of this, but I am currently halfway through my first ever full watch through of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood over on Twitch. We've been watching it multiple times over the course of the week. Shout out again to all the people super chatting. This is amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But throughout the course of the week, I have been watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. We're on, I think, episode 28 right now, so we're about halfway through the series. And I can't help but think about things that happened there in relation to what's going on in One Piece now. Where, like, the characters in Full Metal, if they have, like, the pentagram or whatever that's drawn on their bodies, their soul can be binded to that thing. I wonder if it's something similar, and that's Imu's way of sort of controlling all of them. If the abyss, right, is something that Imu controls, and this is his way of, like, doling out power and taking away power. And that if you're a member of the God Knights or you're a member of the Gorosei, Imu could just draw the pentagram on you the same way like the alchemists can draw the little pentagram thingies and then can bestow upon you a different power, which then allows Imu to have power over all of them, and then at any given moment can suck that power away. Which I also think is a really cool parallel to the stuff with the devil fruits, right? Because if these are not devil fruit powers, and these are in actuality like devil powers, that could be kind of neat. I really like this though. I'm also so curious what the heck is happening with Saint Killingham. Like, what is going on with this dude? Holy Knight, Remo Shifu family. I feel like I gotta bring stuff up. Hold on. One Piece Wiki, royal families. Because I gotta be honest, I do not remember all the royal family names. Some of these sound familiar. One of those is Jupiter's family, right? Isn't Jupiter from the Shepherd family? The one that we all thought was Sanji's dad at first? Let me look. Wait. Okay, Saint Saturn Garcia, Remo Shifu. Is there a name of just the families, though? The Figarland yeah, it is. Hold on. Saint Shepherd Jupiter. Saint Shepherd Summers. Okay, so they're related. It's interesting, though, because Summers looks older than Jupiter, which is kind of weird. So Remo Shifu is new. But yeah, Summers almost looks like he could be Jupiter's brother, or like older brother, or even father, potentially. Maybe it's just the way they're drawing him, where it looks like he's got, you know, older lines on his face, and maybe it looks like he's got whiter hair. But yeah, we've got the Don Quixote family, obviously, the Roseward family, the Figarland family, the Shepherd family, the Man Mayor family, and then the other world nobles, Remo Shifu included. We have Carmel, J. Garcia, Pluming, Marcus, Top Man, Ethan Baron, and Remo Shifu, which still leaves some other families. Also, that is a good point, though, Lucky. Lucky brings up a good point in my chat saying Jupiter probably stopped aging whenever he got his powers from Emu. That is true. He probably did. This is cool stuff, though. I do love that we're actually getting more of them. And I also love the fact that they brought up that Shamrock is going to go because of all the turmoil that's happening at the Holy Land of Marijoa right now. I'm also going to look this up. Hold on. Monster Hunter Wiki. Timely, considering the new Monster Hunter's coming up as well. Monster Hunter Wiki. I know exactly the monster I'm thinking of. If I see the name, I will point it out. Hold on. Monster Hunter Wiki. Monsters. Large monsters. Here we go. Lunastra, no. No. I think it's like one of the wyverns, if I'm remembering correctly. I know the one. I want to say it's like Kirin or something. Hold on. Yes, it is. It is. Kirin. Yes. This is going to be it. Yes. Okay. This is exactly, hold on. I'm going to go over to the other page so you guys can see this real quick. This is exactly what I was thinking of. Yes. This is totally what he is. This thing. It's like a unicorn dragon thing. Yes. It's not only a type of Japanese beer. I want to look this up in the Yokai Wiki, though, because obviously we've used this Yokai Wiki to talk about some of the other characters. Hold on, look this up. I want to see the power set. One of the rarest and most awesome, powerful creatures ever known in East Asia. Again, interesting because the name was Remo Shifu. It is a regal animal, holy and highly revered, which also is kind of interesting considering the fact he's a holy knight. The Kirin is often considered a god in its own right. Resembling a deer with scales like a dragon covering its body, the Kirin is a chimerical beast. With a tail like an ox and a flowing mane, its body and mane are covered in brilliant holy fire, and its face is the picture of utter serenity. A gentle animal, the Kirin never eats the flesh of other beings and takes great care never to tread on any other living thing, even insects. When it walks, it does so without trampling a single blade of grass. With beauty surpassed only by its rarity, the unicorn-like Kirin only appears during periods of world peace. They are seen only in lands owned by wise and benevolent people and during the reigns of noble rulers, where they heralded a golden age. Again, interesting the parallels between like the world nobles and the holy knights, and because the Kirin are beasts of purity and goodness, they have been used in carvings and paintings of symbols of these virtues ever since early times. They're seen as symbols of justice and wisdom. Also interesting because obviously Garling, prior to being one of the Gorosei, was the leader of the Holy Knights, which rained judgment upon the people that are in Marijoa. and he's a symbol of justice. Interesting. Kirin frequently adorn temples and shrines, omens of great luck and fortune. The appearance of a Kirin is said to be a sign of arrival of a great leader or a wise man. Introduced to Japan via Chinese myths and legends that are known as Kirin. Over time, these Chinese and Japanese versions divulged into slightly different creatures. In Japan, they're considered to be the most powerful and sacred of all the beasts. Giraffes are also called Kirin in Japanese, named for the traits that they share with the holy Kirin. Long legs, scale patterns, gentle nature, and the knobs on their heads reminded the first Japanese saw of giraffes as the most sacred of the beasts. I do love his design. I'm gonna go through real quick and like just flash the design on the head, where you can see like the long neck and the little horn sticking out. I'm seeing Aaron going like Kaku. Yeah, right. It's funny. I wonder if Kaku's ever come into contact with Rimu Shifu, right? I mean, Kaku was part of the Cypher Pole, so it makes sense that maybe at some time they would have met each other. I am excited, though, about this Remo Shifu family and what Killingham is going to look like in his regular form. Because I feel like even in this form, he's looking kind of goofy. And he's got like a gas mask on. So my assumption is that in his normal form, he's going to have a gas mask as well. It's also, yeah, interesting because, again, the Gorosei are the opposite of being actual godly creatures, right? They deem themselves holy. The world nobles deem themselves as above the rest of the people. But in reality, yeah, they're scum. So it's going to be interesting to see how we're going to see it. Rob also said in the chat, I'm surprised Killingham is a rather cartoony Kirin, so I wasn't sure you would be able to tell. Well, I think the big giveaway was the whiskers and the horn. That's the big thing to me. Also, like the weird, I've come to know a lot of these mythological creatures over time because of different people speculating what other characters were going to look like going into Wano. So my assumption when I saw the little like trail on the long neck, that was the first thing that I thought of. I'm glad I was correct. Now, whether or not that actually ends up being what this is, I mean, maybe he has some other type of power, but I feel like that's what this is supposed to be. The whiskers, the horns, and the long neck kind of seems like the big giveaway. Summers is the big question, though. The fact that he got teleported here in his underwear is very, very strange to me. Also, you're right, Zwet, saying it kind of looks a little bit like Momonosuke's design. Totally. Now, with all that said, right, I've talked about this stuff with the God Knights. And the stuff with the Abyss. I have barely talked about this stuff with Gaban. And right now, Gaban, the way he's being set up and the way they're showing him, almost seems to me like he's being shown to be slightly stronger than, than Rayleigh, which is kind of shocking to me. Now, mind you, we saw Rayleigh recently when he was saving Hancock and the rest of them and holding off Blackbeard a little bit. But the fact that 2v1, he wasn't even breaking a sweat against Zoro and Luffy is insane to me. And again, I love that sequence where you see the Conqueror's Haki coming off of the sword, but you also see it coming off of the ki. In some way, he's infused it onto the ki, the same way that we saw Zoro infusing it into the sword back in Wano Country. But additionally, his observation Haki seems to be like on a whole nother level. He has been dodging every single one of Luffy's attacks. I love that bit on page 6 and 7 where Luffy's looking shocked and it's like the version of his face that's like super slim and it looks like he's a character out of a painting. That whole portion with Scopper was truly insane. And I also loved the way that Oda drew some of those attacks against Luffy, which almost mirrored like the Looney Tunes aspect of the stuff that we saw with Gear 5 previously, right? Is like fully utilizing that Gaban is no pun intended, toying with him, right? Like he is just like playing a game with Luffy. When he chucks that key at him and then it goes directly into Luffy's skull and you could see his whole head morphing around it, like before he goes into this Yaso Takeru thing, that entire sequence is really kind of wild to me. And that he could have given the key to him anytime that he wanted, which obviously he did by the end of it, once he realized that, okay, Luffy's actually cool, and he chucks the key over and gives it to them straight up. Like, he's struggling. It almost makes me wonder why right away Luffy didn't go into Gear 5 against him. But I guess they don't know the same truth about him the same way that Usopp and everybody else at the tavern and Rodo knows about them. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, if I go back to chapter 1139, I'm going to go back here real quick to the very end of the chapter when we bring up the stuff with Scopper Gaban. Treasure chest room, take it from me. He's been living in Elbaf for over 20 years. Legendary figure who stood shoulder to shoulder with Roger. That entire sequence where the giants are talking about Gaban is what's happening at the tavern. So Luffy and Zoro do not know that he was a member of Roger's crew during this confrontation. They only know him as Old Man Ya. So Usopp and Oimo and Kashi and all the rest of them, they know beforehand. And Rodo in this chapter straight up was going to say, because he says at the very, very ending before he's like, no, don't tell them anything else. Where he says, why would I do that? I never want to see you again. Thanks, idiots. And Rodo says, Ultra Rare Luffy, if you didn't know this man is, and then the ... and he's saying, okay, you're going to get ahead of yourself. There definitely is a situation in which at some point Luffy is going to have to discover the relationship between Old Man Ya and Zoro, the same thing, between Old Man Ya, Roger, and Shanks as well. Because they keep bringing up Shanks during this confrontation, and he mentions the whole thing about, oh, Shanks is a cheapskate. But Luffy obviously doesn't know their whole relationship. So they truly do not know at this point. Man, oh man, oh man. That whole action sequence I thought was stellar with Gaban. And again, the fact that we still got other information in this chapter, which could have easily just been in any other story arc. The whole chapter could have been Gaban toying with Luffy and Zoro and then getting the key at the ending. So the fact that we had a whole second half of the chapter with the God Knights, lore about the Abyss, lore about the other families, new Devil Fruit powers, saying that the whole rest of this is going to be a new game, implying like a God Valley 2.0 thing. This is a really, really solid chapter. Man, really good stuff all around. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. I feel like all of them, as of late, have just been phenomenal chapters. But man, seeing ACEO in the chat saying, what's up, Roger? What's up, everyone? I got Mikhail saying, did I miss the reading? You did, unfortunately. The reading was the last half hour, so you missed the reading. I was just going through my review portion right now, sharing my thoughts on the chapter. You did miss the reading, but don't worry. You're not missing the good stuff. We got lots of super chats to go through, lots of theories, lots of member messages, lots of Nakama messages. We got a lot else to talk about and speculate about on this chapter. But before we get into any of that, of course, as always, I gotta show you guys what James cooked up for this chapter. So we're gonna open this up. We're gonna go to my drive. Gonna go here. Gonna go to James's thumbnail art over here. Okay. Open this up to the other page. Direct, and let's see what we got. Nice, we got the tag team of Gear 5 Luffy and then Zoro as well. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful colorization on this too. I also love the fact that he's taking advantage of the fact that we now know the Elbaf colorings based on that recent volume cover that was shown. Really cool tag team shot too. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, James, the last time that you've done a thumbnail with Luffy and Zoro by themselves, I want to say was during Egghead Island, where they both make the weird faces. You know that panel that just actually happened in the anime recently where you see like the faces from Luffy and Zoro? I think that's the last time that you actually ever drew the two of them together, which is kind of cool. So the fact that we're getting a tag team here as well is really nice. But I also see you left something here, but I don't want to read that just yet because James, real quick, James sent me this, chat. James sent me this. James sent me this and said, do not open until Sunday stream 223. Now that is today, obviously. So what in the world did James send me? Did he send me a giant version of this? I want to read this before I read whatever his notes are. So let's see what he sent me. It's for the 223 chapter. Okay. Yeah, that was funny because literally it arrived at my house like 2 days ago, and then I was going to open it, and I turned the other page, and he was using a bunch of his old prints and stuff as like packaging, like old misprints. Oh my gosh. Oh, what is this, James? What is this? What? Wait. What is this? This is like really nice. This is like a full print. Oh, how cute! Oh, I love this. Look at Nami with her tangerine outfit. I love that. Dude, what is this? My man found a tweet that I made back in 2020 where I said, whoa, when did you do this? Talking about how beautiful this art was. And he sent over a print of his actual art. And he signed it and everything. Dude, I gotta get this framed, man. I love this. Because normally when I get James's prints, obviously I'm getting his prints after the fact, right? I'm getting them at conventions or something. This is an original. My man, you can see the marker on the back of it. Look at that. This is the original print. I almost don't even want to take this out of the package. Dude, Reagan is at the gym right now. When she comes back, she's going to have a field day with this. This is so pretty. This one isn't a print. This is the actual original. Dude, are you sure you don't want to keep this? James sent me the original of his art. That is so nice. I can't believe you sent this over to. It's like you sent me an early birthday present, man. This is awesome. The fact that he found this old tweet of mine to send this is crazy. Wow, what a thoughtful gift, man. Because you guys, some of you guys know this. My birthday's coming up on March 9th. So my birthday's fast approaching. Dude, I can't believe you gave me the original. This is amazing. Dude, James, thank you. Wow. Yeah, I gotta frame this. I will absolutely, and it's signed by you and everything. I will frame this for sure. See, the whole thing, I gotta figure out. Right now, I have some artwork that's up in the wall right there. I've got my Hunter x Hunter collage piece and my Naruto collage piece, which are just past here. And obviously over here, we've got my my blocks, so you guys can't see any of the artwork that I have up there. But in the hallway, I've got like my signed Rebirth poster from the producers of Rebirth, and then my signed Street Fighter poster from the producers of Street Fighter. I might need to replace one of those and put this in here. This is absolutely gorgeous, man. There's more in the package. What else did you send me? Wait a minute, what? Oh, there is. What the heck? There's more. Oh my gosh, dude, he wrote a whole letter. Wait, I'm going to read this out in a second. Also, what is this? Bro, are you kidding me? You're kidding me. James, you're kidding me. Bro. Hold on, before I show this to chat. James, this is incredible. This is actually incredible. Okay. Chat, let me tell you guys about something. When you're at the Jump store in Japan, and you go to USJ in Japan, where they have like all the One Piece related stuff, pretty much anywhere in which there's like a One Piece shop, like an official One Piece shop, usually what Oda does is he finds this like gold cardboard and then he draws a message on it saying like, thank you to that place. So like, for example, there's like Oda artwork. If we pull up Oda Art USJ, right? Ichiro Oda Art, here we go. And see how he's got these like these little pieces of artwork where it commemorates the place and he draws Luffy on it and he says a certain message. The Shikichi boards, exactly, yes. Yes. So, James made me a Shikichi board and on the back, dude, how sick is this? This is incredible. Wow. Made an actual Shikichi board saying thank you for 3 years, RogersBase. And he's got the 3 for the 3 years. Wow. And he did the low. This is insane. This is insanely cool, dude. Wow. And he marked it 2025 and everything. This is insane. Bro, the fact that he sent me this is insane. I am at a loss for words, James. This is so unbelievably nice. Wow. Dude, this is like priceless. The fact that you sent me the original of your artwork is incredible. But the fact that you made me a Shikichi board And it's like, I mean, this is so cool. This is so, to be fair, to be honest, this even looks better than Oda's version of Luffy. This is gorgeous. You colored it, you made it look nice. I know that might be sacrilegious on a One Piece stream, but this looks better than if Oda would have done it, man. This is crazy. James, exactly. My guys in the chat, Jessica Nader just said, James secured his job for the next 3 years, bro. You're getting promoted. Give this man a raise. James, that's amazing. Bro, James, thank you so much. James really has been absolutely phenomenal. Let me tell you, James has been so good because some of you know this, but over the course of break weeks, we didn't do it this past week. James has been busy with stuff. I was like, there's no rush to do it. Don't worry about it. But over the course of the past few break weeks, what James has done is he's been going through old thumbnails and redoing the old thumbnails that didn't have artwork before. So like, if you go to my YouTube channel, right, and you scroll down to where the playlist is for RogersBase Reads One Piece, right? Obviously, we've got all of our thumbnails every week. All the different thumbnails that James has drawn, right? And then obviously all the thumbnails, like I'll scroll down because he's done a lot of them. All the ones from the Egghead arc, all the ones prior, right? Some of them don't have them, but those are the ones that like I have guests on the stream. But all the Egghead ones, all the ones at the end of Wano, everything. And then James started, this was his first official thumbnail for me. The first one James ever did was for One Piece 1041. And then what ended up happening is as you scroll down, again, a lot of these were just using fan art or were using like other images that weren't related to it. You can see he's been going back and redoing thumbnails for old classic chapters. So like this is the chapter in which Kaido was drunk in his dragon form. He did like the nice drunken Kaido. He did this one. If you scroll down, look at this for Sanji versus Queen. And some people haven't even seen this artwork before. You got to go back and look. It's like a little game. I recommend everyone when you're done with the stream, go back and look at all the little chapters. So cool. He did this one for Sanji and Queen. He did this one for 1026 in that really cool watercolor style with Luffy. He did this one with Vivi as well, with Karoo, where he did the drawing for the new opening. Incredible. He did this one for Robin. This one for Nami and Robin and Chopper. So sick. Look at this Kinemon one, dude. This Kinemon one is like so sick that he did. And then the Zoro one, which actually I utilized afterwards. This was like one of his regular pieces of Zoro artwork. And I was like, oh, I'll just use it on the thumbnail for the Zoro chapter because it looks sick as it was. And then this is, of course, the One Piece 1000 one, which was just like for the big chapter stream we did for 1000. But man, James has been putting in the work. And I really do love the new thumbnail layout with like the widescreen format where you can clearly see it's a reaction. I think it looks great. But man, James, once again, shout out to all the incredible work that you've been doing. Not only was your thumbnail art this week gorgeous, not only is this an incredible gift, sending over the original of your first Nami print, but this, I mean, this is like priceless to me. This is like one of my favorite things I can't emphasize enough how much I love this. This is one of my favorite things you've ever done. I might literally put this on like one of those stands and then have it right here on like a One Piece shelf where people can see it. This is so unbelievably cool, man. I love this. I love this. I love it. Thank you so much for sending this my way. And again, thank you for all the work that you've been doing. I'm seeing Miss saying when One Piece ends, we need James to make thumbnails for Nintendo reactions and things. Oh, James has a job. So long as I'm making money on YouTube, James has a job forever. He has solidified his job with me. Don't you worry about a thing. James has work for life with me. You're good. I've talked to him about this, that even we've seen this where like when One Piece would go on break, we find other stuff. He did that beautiful Reverie Rumble thumbnail. He did the thumbnail for the mini Reveries. He's got work. And James also likes Nintendo stuff and other anime stuff. So he'll for sure be doing thumbnails moving forward. Wow. James said, I'm so glad I didn't get lost in the mail. Dude, again, I love this. I can't get over the board. I really can't get over this. Again, as somebody who has seen a lot of those Oda things in person, whether you're at like Tokyo One Piece Tower, whether you're at like USJ, whether you're at like the other, the One Piece stores, I never thought I was going to have one of these. And the fact that you did this in commemoration of 3 years and right before my birthday, incredible, James, incredible. Absolutely incredible. Also, he wrote out this whole thing. I'm going to read this real quick. I'm assuming this is going to go along with what your little message was. He said, Roger, I don't even know if you remembered this, but the first thumbnail art I ever put out was for chapter 1041 on February 27th. My guy tried reminding me of my history. I told you, I knew already. That makes it 3 years of drawing my thumbnails for you. Well, in like 1 week from this writing. Now, I didn't do anything for the 2 years, but it keeps blowing my mind that it's already been 3. It really doesn't feel like it. Once again, you've been such a great boss and an even better friend. A friendship should be one that makes life better just by being in it. And your kindness and camaraderie have proved just this. This is so, you're being so nice. You're being so nice, James. What did I do to deserve this? This man, I'm telling you, sometimes James will text me random things about that Donkey Kong tweet that I made a while ago that I'd give up Donkey Kong for like a Pokemon game that looks like Satoshi Tajiri's art style. James, this is so nice. Wow. He says, all right, I'll probably write more later in the artist notes, but I'm writing this quickly so it can get shipped off by the Sunday stream. I'm rushing. I'm including 2 things here. I decided to draw you a Shikishi board, kind of like how Oda does for the Mugiwara store anniversaries. I went with Luffy since he's the main character. I haven't done too much traditional lately besides the Shamrock thumbnail, so it was really fun and also a relearning experience. Again, doing it by hand, this is incredible. Also, I've been wanting to give this to you for a while, and since your birthday is coming up, and also it's the 3-year anniversary of our thumbnail artist anniversary, I decided to bestow it upon you now. I know Nami's not your absolute favorite waifu. Of course, I love Robin, but I do love when you draw Nami. But when we were first starting to discuss your thumbnail art, I remember you specifically brought this piece up, dating back to 2020, man. I still have it, and so now it's yours. You can hang it above the toilet. Bro, what? Wait, what are you talking about? He said, you can hang it above the toilet or let Obi pee on it. It's yours now. Obi is not going to pee on that Nami art. That Nami art is beautiful. I'm getting that framed, James. What are you doing? Oh, this is so nice, James. Man. It's yours now. I drew it back in 2020, colored by hand with Copics, which again, shout out. I don't know if your link still works. Does your link still work, James? Go back a couple episodes ago when we did the reaction to the chapter where you were sponsored by the markers. Go order Copic markers using his link. Gotta get that brand unity. Wow. How can I do that again? Even now I look at it and I'm impressed by the coloring. Fun fact though, this didn't originally have tangerines in it, but somewhere I spilled a little bit of chicken grease and I covered it up with tangerine and then drew more. So enjoy. Thanks again. I'll try to write some more in the artist notes and maybe add a few more fun things. Happy 3 years, James. Even if I eventually don't draw for you or One Piece ends, our friendship will remain strong till the end. Nakama! Sincerely, James. Man, that is so unbelievably nice, man. Wow, 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 wow. That's a fun fact about the tangerines, too, and the chicken grease. That's so funny. Dude, thank you once again, James. How nice. Also, he left a little extra thing in the artist notes here saying, I thought the scene of the future Pirate King and his first mate was cool. It seemed more fun to draw than the new Holy Knights and ended up taking me a lot longer than I thought to draw. To be fair, I'm also glad that you went with this because this is less spoilery. So I feel like when I upload the thumbnail, people won't get mad at me for spoilers for seeing like the new version of the God Knights. And that also buys you some time. So if we get some better clues as to like what his color scheme is going to be for them, I think you're good. He said, it ended up taking me longer than I thought. Hope you like it. And everything else in the letter that I wrote for Roger in case he reads his first James. Man, once again, James, thank you for being an absolutely amazing thumbnail artist. Thank you for 3 years. Thank you for these amazing gifts. I'm blown away. I'm truly blown away by this. This was a lovely, lovely, thoughtful birthday gift, man. Wow. Early birthday gift, too. I'm getting all these birthday gifts early. Reagan had that gachapon machine I've been getting those goodies out of every day. I got this early. Incredible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. James is the Nami of the crew. He's drawing the maps and the other draws your thumbnails. There you go, exactly. James would like that too. He's also a redhead, so it makes sense. There you go. Wow. Incredible, incredible work, James. Wow, 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 wow. That is so nice. I'm blown away. This was already such a great stream, and we still got super chats and theories and stuff to go through. So real quick, let me go through some of these super chats. Let me go through some of this viewer activity. I know earlier, one of the comments got sniped by Aaron in the chat because it got sent during the actual stream, so I can't see what that was. But I just want to give a shout out to Austin Smith saying thank you. I think he said something about Saint Summer's design being similar to the original design of Kaido. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it something like that? was kind of looking like the beta design of Kaido. If you guys remember the old Kaido appearance. Kaido first appearance. That's what it was? Perfect. I got you. So this is way back in that initial showcase of Kaido where you can see this. Let me go on over here to the direct. Right where we have this weird version of his face. You basically are saying that Summers looks kind of similar in terms of his facial structure. I mean, I could kind of see it a little bit. It looks more like the one that we saw just before the Kaido reveal that was post-time skip, where he had like the longer face during the underground. But I can't find that one on here. But either way, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I also agree. It does look a little bit like that. Yeah, I agree. So thank you again, Austin. He said, yeah, it was. It was more of his concept design. There you go. There you go. So Kaido concept design. Let's look this up. I know exactly the image you're talking about, though. Let's see. Kaido concept design. This one, right? Hold on. Let me pull this back over to the screen again. Yeah, it's definitely this one. Only difference is he doesn't have the mustache. St. Summers has the mustache going on. Look up his concept design for his hybrid form. Oh, I've never even... Oh, wait, what? His hybrid form went through... Oh. So the Killingham design actually comes a little bit like this too, where you could see the long neck. Interesting. I don't think I've ever even seen these concepts before. Where were these shown off? I don't think I've ever even seen those before. That's interesting to note. Huh. Thanks for bringing that up, Austin. I did not know that. All right, let me pull up some more of these. So Mr. Bushido came through and said, I think Luffy will lose the fight. Every time Shanks is insulted, he loses his cool. He's going to leave himself open when Shamrock insults Shanks. Oh, so you think that he's going to lose to Shamrock. I mean, Shamrock is going back right now, though, right? So I don't necessarily think we're going to have a full fight with Shamrock and Luffy. I think that'll happen maybe later on. I don't think it's happening right now. I Ate Your Potato also donated and said, look at the mark on Summer's arm on page 14. Okay, let me see this on page 14. So that's like the tattoo. And then look at page 218 on page 14. I do not think it's a coincidence. Chapter 218. Okay. So you got to scroll a little bit back for this one. 218 and page 14. Anything man can imagine is possibility in reality? This one? Hold on. I should have these both open another tab. Hold on. Give me a second. I have to see these side by side because I don't really know what it is that you're pointing out. Let me see. 1140. This. And then 218, page 14. Oh, Rob said it's actually 219, page 6. I see. Because I was like, this is the upside down ship. 219, page 6. Okay. Let me see. This man died over 200 years ago. Okay. Oh, like the sail that's on the ship? Oh, you're right. I don't think that's a coincidence. Okay, I see what you're talking about. So for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, St. Summers on page 14 of this chapter, you can see he's got a tattoo on his arm right here. That's like a circle, and then it looks almost like a target reticle around it. And then if you look at the symbol on the ship for St. Brice on page 6 of chapter 219 of the book that Robin is reading, it looks like an old ship. This is actually the ship that fell from the sky. Whoa! From Skypiea. The man who died over 200 years ago in his mid-30s, he got sick on the high seas and died. Compared to the others, his teeth are well preserved. So this dude was maybe from his family, which also would make it, because Summers is from the Shepherd family with Jupiter, right? So that would then make him another member of that family. Interesting. Yeah, Robin says that's the ship that fell on us. The St. Brice from the South Blue Kingdom of Brice set sail 208 years ago. It's the same symbol. This ship has been sailing the seas for 200 years, and she found this out from all the bones. It was an exploration ship. There should be lots of records on board. And then she mentions that whole note about the guy that he died over 200 years ago in his mid-30s, got sick on the high seas, and compared to the others, his teeth are well preserved. Wow. His clothes are unique to a particular area of the South Blue. Which then also makes me wonder, like, if that area of the South Blue was like where the explorers are coming from. Man, you guys are on it, though. I gotta say, my live chat knows what the heck is up. You guys point out stuff that is like so good that I never would have been able to find right away. And people are just making these discoveries immediately, like, incredible. Wow, wow, wow. That's the power of the internet, though. That people so quickly are finding this old chapter from way back when. I guess people have had a few days to look it up. That's true, that's true. Man, that is a really cool note. Thank you for sending that my way. Very cool. Shout out to I am potato. Or I ate your potato, excuse me. Mr. Bushido, oh, that's what I read earlier, bringing up the stuff with Shamrock. Ace came through. Ace donated and said, I am more convinced that Harold secretly knew about Mother Carmel and her trafficking the orphans and giants to the world government. Summers is also part of the same family as Jupiter, so maybe his brother? Also, I completely agree that I think King Harold knew. And that maybe that's why Loki went to go attack him, is because he was sending all these kids to the world nobles. Because again, they mentioned potentially that he was going to King Harold's grave, to pay his respects. They wouldn't be on good speaking terms unless Harold was working with them, which would make Harold super scummy, which would make you understand why Loki would want to kill him and all his men if he's, siphoning off all these children from Mother Carmel's division to go then be sold to the world government. Exactly. I totally agree with that. I think that's honestly a really good theory at this point with where we are. And that one little line about like visiting Harold's grave kind of gives that away. Yeah, I am more convinced that Harold secretly knew about Mother Carmel and trafficking the orphans and the giants. Yeah, especially now that you got the other giant children, and they're going to be bringing a bunch of them back to Marijoa. I do think, yeah, Summers is definitely part of the same family. We know that for sure. And I do also agree, I think King Harold might have known. Yeah. And maybe that would have gone into his idea of like him not wanting to be war and like war at any cost. And the whole idea that King Harold maybe wanted peace in Elbaf. But the Elbathians are like, look, we've only known wartime, and now you're telling me that you want peace, and your way of peace is like siphoning off and selling these kids to the government? Absolutely no way. I want no part of this, and that's why Loki goes in. We'll find out. We'll find out. Emperor Meech, which, by the way, also came through. I gotta say, Emperor Meech, who just recently joined at the Club Mammoth tier. Nakama, shout out to you. San Roger, I don't want to derail the chapter discussion, but can I send you a DM on Discord regarding something? It's a minor problem. I am assuming it's about linking your Discord to the Club Mammoth membership. I got you. Emperor Meech, let me know in the chat what your Discord name is. I will reach out to you and fix that later today. Absolutely. Again, shout out to you for joining Club Mammoth. Greatly appreciate that. Nakama, Emperor Meech. Absolutely. I got you. I got you. Kuma came through with a super chat and said, Summers also, I think, might have the barbed wire fruit. His sword hints at it, and he can create maybe create a birdcage 2.0 because Shamrock said you could make a game with it. That would be an insane devil fruit. The barbed wire fruit? You're right that his sword does kind of allude to it. It's got the thorns on it. See, I don't necessarily think it's a barbed wire fruit, though. You know what I think it is? The thorns on the hilt of the sword, and then him wearing the flower, I think he might like have a rose fruit, which would be kind of cool. Like think Argenti in Honkai Star Rail, where he's got all the thorns on all of his different abilities, where he's summoning thorns from all over the place. I feel like that would be kind of interesting. I feel like him having some type of flower fruit, but it being thorns and tying in with the idea of beauty and, vanity and all the different sins and how that ties to the Holy Knights. I think that could be kind of cool. In fact, I'm saying it right now, I think that is what his fruit is. I think his power, either it's in his sword or something, I think he's got some type of like thorn fruit, is my guess. Like a flower, thorn type fruit. Also, I gotta say, I know they're all evil. I know they're super evil. But their outfits, all these Holy Knight outfits, all of them, every single one, the outfits are good. They at least know how to dress. They might be evil, but they got good fashion sense. I'll tell you that right now. Looking really good. Emperor Meech also said that's not it, but I'll send you a message anyway. You got it. Leave a note in the home base room to remind me in the Discord, Emperor Meech. I'll get you literally right after the stream. I got to run to Unova Tour right after this, but don't worry. I'll take care of it. Discord name is same as my YouTube name. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. All right. Next up, we got another super chat. This one comes from Kuma. Oh, that's the one I just read. Kuma brought up the barbed wire fruit. Zindrome came through and said, what if the cover story purpose is actually for Yamato to round up the rest of the Beast Pirates and turn them into another crew for the Grand Fleet? I actually would really like that. I feel like Ulti and Pepe at the very least could heel turn. You know what I mean? Like they're younger. Who's who has been around the ringer? Who's a racist? He hates the fishmen. He worked for the world government. Who's who could stay scum and they could beat who's who. But I do see a world in which I could see Ulti and Pepe turning and siding with Yamato, who again is the son of Kaido, right? Like at the end of the day, that's still Kaido's kid. So if they're going to side with anybody, having it be Kaido's kid makes a lot of sense. So I could see a world in which they could then side with Yamato, maybe form another Grand Fleet ship along with the samurai. We actually straight up saw that on the mural 2 weeks ago, where we saw that amazing panel where we saw the samurai ship next to all the other ships. And that could very well be the ship that Yamato's on. However, people brought up to me that in the top right corner of the mural, you also see a character that looks like Yamato in the mythical beast form. So that could be that. I mean, they could all be present at the same war. Maybe the Beast Pirates are with them. Obviously, not everybody who's going to be at Final War is going to be accounted for in that mural. But I do think it's really cool that you brought that up. And I actually completely agree with you. I think that could make this whole cover story just a little bit more interesting. Totally agree. We got Sylvan coming through with the donation saying, people using last chapter were saying that Gaban stood shoulder to shoulder with Roger and Rayleigh, meaning they're close to power. That kind of means and implies that one day Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy will be close in power. What are your thoughts on Roger and his mates versus Luffy and his mates' power level? Ooh, you're going to get me in trouble, Sylvan. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to say that because Roger, I'm going to say this. Because Roger, for as far as we know, and probably true, never had a devil fruit, right? Roger, Rayleigh, and Gaban all had to train in hockey, right? They all had to get really good at using observation, armament, conquerors, and sailing the seas. All of them, all three, needed to be really, really, really good at it. They all had to be proficient at it. Roger was the pirate king. Obviously, Shanks following in his footsteps, doesn't have a devil fruit, utilizes super strong hockey, right? I think by end of series, Zoro and Sanji for sure will be at a power level equivalent to Rayleigh and Gaban. No question. But I think Luffy, if he is utilizing hockey the same way that Roger utilized hockey and has the Gear 5 Devil Fruit power and has the Nika power, to me, there's no question about it. End of series, Luffy is going to be way, way, way stronger, not just than his own crewmates, but also Roger himself. I think end of series, nobody is touching Luffy. Nobody. When he's able to fully master his Devil Fruit ability, fully understand that he's got the Nika fruit, fully understand whatever, Gaban was doing here, infusing the Conqueror's Hockey into the key, right? All that stuff. My assumption would be that Luffy, with all those powers plus his Devil Fruit power, would be significantly stronger than where Roger was at that point. But I do think we could look at a world in which Sanji and Zoro stand toe-to-toe with Gaban and Rayleigh in their prime by the end of the series. Especially when I think about who their opponents are probably going to be at the end, which, like I said, is going to be Mihawk for Zoro. Obviously, you're going to have that Mihawk-Zoro fight at Laugh Tale when all the Yonko crews are fighting. You got that. And then I still think, again, I really truly believe people are sleeping on Crocodile post-time skip. I really, really do. I think, because we really haven't seen what Crocodile can do post-time skip. We saw him get washed by Whitebeard and Marineford. We saw him lose to Luffy, not even with Gear 2, but just regular base Luffy with the water, pre-time skip. So obviously Crocodile was way far behind everybody. However, people I think forget with the side characters that these other side character villains can grow at the same pace other major supporting characters can, right? Like obviously Sanji today could easily obliterate Crocodile way back. I think Sanji post-time skip, immediately post-time skip, is washing Crocodile pre-time skip. Easy. But you got to remember, Crocodile, I think, learned his lesson after what happened at Marineford, after being broken out of Impel Down, and after being with Mihawk and all these other strong members of the Cross Guild over the course of these last 2 years, and training again with Mr. One and everybody. What I genuinely believe, and I've said this before, and people think I'm nuts for saying this, I genuinely believe that we are going to be looking at Crocodile at the end of the series when he's fighting Sanji. I think we're going to be looking at Crocodile utilizing observation and armament and conquerors. Because if Zoro and Mihawk, obviously Mihawk has conquerors, like of course. If Zoro and Mihawk are going to be utilizing observation and armament and conquerors, and they're both the wings of the Pirate King, you need a somewhat equivalent fight for Sanji when you get into it, if that's really how they're setting this up. Sanji already has armament and observation, right? The only thing we don't know that he has yet is conquerors. I still think that's latent within him. I still think that's unlocking once we see more of his true potential. And once he fully unlocks like all his Vinsmoke powers or whatever that are latent within him. If that is the case, and you have Sanji utilizing observation, conquerors, and armament against a Crocodile that has armament, observation, and conquerors, plus a Devil Fruit, that's going to be an incredible fight at the end of all this. And again, there's a reason for his massive bounty jump. There's a reason he's now well beyond 1 point whatever billion, and it's certainly not due to the fact that he's riding the coattails of Cross Guild. There's definitely a lot of stuff that we have not seen with Crocodile that we're going to have to see before end of series. I don't even see have to see. I think we're literally just going to see him. He's going to have some crazy feat, awaken Devil Fruit or something, turning stuff to sand. It's going to be crazy. And I think people are going to come back to all my old streams and what I've been saying for years now, which is that people are sleeping on Crocodile. And how that ties into power scaling stuff, right, is that I think Sanji and Zoro are at least going to be at the level of Mihawk and Crocodile end of series, by end of series, which then means they're going to have to be on their level. That's my guess. And you're right, Aaron. We could get that during Elbaf. Again, the weird thing that's what's going on with Elbaf, with the pacing and all the stuff being introduced, if they're turning everything into a game after 1140, right, and we've got a potential God Valley 2.0 situation, and Marijoa is, crumbling, and they said the situation at the Holy Land is dire, we're looking at a situation, realistically, right, in which Final War can feed directly into Elbaf / God Valley 2.0 / potential God Valley flashback / finding out more information about Big Mom and Loki, all within the same story arc. Like, he's framed, I cannot stress enough how brilliantly Oda has framed Elbaf. I feel like Elbaf so far is exceeding my expectations. And you guys remember this back during Egghead and during, Dressrosa and everything. All the time I've been covering this. I've been saying to people, I didn't think Elbaf was necessarily going to be that massive an arc, that I thought maybe they would end up turning Elbaf into a Zoe type situation where we'd get a lot of lore information and we'd move away from it. But now, like, there's plot threads we got to deal with here. There's all the stuff with King Harold. There's all the stuff with Loki. There's all the stuff with the God Knights. Like, the characters have arrived where they are currently right now. So we have to have a fight amongst them here. They wouldn't bring these characters in if they weren't going to fight. So anyway, I hope I sufficiently answered your question. Thank you for that. Appreciate that, Sylvan. Emmanuel came through with the super chat and said, is it just me, but can I feel like the pentagram symbols on the knights could potentially work like Orochimaru's curse marks and kind of be like an infinite being. Or you're speaking kind of in the terms of what we're seeing with Boruto right now too, with the claw grimes, right? Where characters can just kind of pop in and out of them and place them on things. I mean, I like the idea that maybe a character, maybe Imu himself, can place the pentagram things on himself and then summon creatures from the depths outside of himself. That would be, I mean, assuming he's the one making all the pentagrams and with the abyss powers, if he actually has a devil fruit, I think that could be kind of interesting. That then all these other creatures and monsters and stuff could pour out of this. Or, like you said, Clax, exactly, that maybe he could reincarnate like Orochimaru as well. Or maybe reincarnate amongst other characters, right? We mentioned like Gunko being able to draw the pentagram and the eye being similar to Imu's eye, that maybe there's some type of like correlation there between Imu and Gunko, that maybe he's taking over her slightly, and that maybe he's like the same way that we saw Orochimaru back in Naruto take over that one, who was the ninja character that we saw after the Chunin exams, going into the stuff with Sarutobi versus Orochimaru. I don't remember the name of the character, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It could be a situation like that as well. Again, Imu's devil fruit powers could be absolutely insane. Again, if Luffy's got the most ridiculous devil fruit power in the series, as has been alluded to all this time, I feel like, come on, man. You're like, Imu's gotta have one that's at least as wild. Yeah. Man, oh man, oh man. We got another donation. This one comes from Jeskinator, who said, check out chapter 223, The Bartender's Tattoo. It could be that Shanks also had a summoning mark on his arm that he gave up for the new generation. 223 Bartender Tattoo. Let's see this. 223. Is this in Jaia? What page again? The Bartender's Tattoo. Let's see. This is Sarkis, okay, and Bellamy. I definitely have to... Dude, you know what I genuinely forgot? I'm looking at this page right now. I'm looking at this on page 12. I genuinely forgot Bellamy had a pirate crew. I straight up forgot. I remembered Marquise or Sarkis or whatever, and I remember Bellamy. I did not remember any of these other clowns. Who are these people? It's been so long since the last time I read Jaia. I literally don't remember any of them. The Bellamy Pirates. Bro, I have to do a full reread for the series before we end, man. All right, Bartender Tattoo. Let's see this. Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay, page 15. So you can see the tattoos on both his arms. One of them looks like it's like an Oni tattoo. Do I think that means anything? I mean, I don't think the bartender in Jaia, realistically, I think those are just like normal tattoos. Some people are saying it looks a little bit like the dragon on the mural. Let's see. He said your log pose will reset in 4 days. If you're smart, you'll leave before you get caught up in anything. 4 days. What do you want? And then this is the whole introduction with the stuff with Blackbeard and Luffy. I mean, to be fair, it would be interesting if this would be a deep cut, right? But it would be interesting if the bartender in Jaia somehow, some way had a connection to the Celestial Dragons and to the Holy Knights, and was the one present during the situation in which Luffy, our main protagonist, met Blackbeard, the main antagonist. That would be a cool connection. I gotta be completely honest. I buy totally the symbol on St. Summers that you guys brought up, being like the little circle with the target reticle on it, being the same one as St. Brice. That was the ship that was falling from Skypiea. Totally buy that 110%. Like, in my brain, that's canon already. It's just, I'm waiting on an SBS for Oda to confirm it, but that's pretty much canon. But this bartender thing, I think is a little more flimsy. To me, I'm not fully buying it. Again, I think the connection would be cool since he was present at the meeting of Luffy and Blackbeard. But I think this was just a matter of him making like cool tattoos on a bartender. There's plenty of characters we've seen with tattoos that I don't think are related to the Holy Knights or the God Knights or the Ancient Kingdom or whatever. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it at least. But you can let me know in the comment section afterwards how you guys feel about it. Yeah. Man, that was super duper solid though. But we still have a couple member messages from my Nakama. Once again, members at the Nakama tier and up can submit their questions without super chatting into the Nakama room over on Discord. So let me send this on over. Let me open this up and let's see what some people have to say. We got a bunch of these this week. This is great. Rob said, my question for 1140 this week pertains to the God Knights. They're definitely going to be enemies this arc, but Oda's not messing around and going straight into it. I love to see it. I wonder what Shamrock has to do with the former King Harold. Why would Summers mention visiting his grave? What do you think the connection is? And I was also going to point out Killingham being a Kirin, but you figured it out yourself, so I'll change it to a thought I had during the stream. I wonder if the Impel Down costumes are actually based on the Holy Knight uniforms. That actually is a really good theory, which I never even considered. Yeah, of course, Impel Down is in direct relationship with the world government and Mari Joa and the Holy Knights and all that stuff. Of course, there's probably some kind of connection there between the Holy Knights and between, whoever does their uniforms. There might be somebody, some evil dude, making all the uniforms for Impel Down and the Holy Knights within Mari Joa. Maybe we're going to meet them. We already know there's like the criminal brand that Pop Hug makes. There's probably somebody else in Mari Joa that's making all the uniforms. As for the question about like what I think Summers was doing, mentioning the grave, or what Shamrock has to do with the former King Harold, I mean, I think whoever brought it up in the super chats earlier nailed it, completely nailed it on the head. Where is this? Viewer activity. I forgot who brought it up earlier, but the idea that Summers and that the Holy Knights were actually working with King Harold to sell the kids to the government and to sell the kids into, being future Marines and stuff like that, I do feel like that was probably the connection. That Harold in some way, in order to keep Elbaf out of it and maintain peace within the kingdom, managed to work with the world government to sell the kids into the, into the Marines or into whatever they were being sold into the world government. Crazy stuff one way or the other. Yeah. But thank you. Again, appreciate that, Rob. And thank you, by the way, to Anime Owl Plus coming through with the membership. Nakama. Thank you, thank you. Also, one thing to mention about Killinghan's name, says Rob, is it could also be read as Kirin Harm. Interesting. Or, or Kirin Ham, like he's a goofball. Like he's a goofball Kirin. Interesting. Also, that exact same line was actually said at the beginning. Wait, what line, Aaron? What are you talking about? Which line? Oh, the one at the beginning of Elbaf, right, that he had plans for it. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying is maybe there was like a relationship there between those two characters. I don't know. We'll see. We got another Nakama message. This one comes from Joker's Fallen One, who said, "Morning, Roger." I'm also going to open this stream setting up so I could see this again. Saying, "Good morning, Roger. I felt like this chapter gave a great view of what's to come in Elbaf, and that might be God Valley 2.0, similar to what I mentioned earlier. With the new introduction of 2 new Holy Knights in a hunt, that is incredibly hype. But this is a little off topic, and I wanted to ask you to ponder this. I might be overreading, but we've now seen that Holy Knight sent Killingham with a white Hagoromo scarf, and Luffy's being the first that we saw, and the black one on Lucci and the 5 Elders. I wonder if that means the difference between someone using it for their belief of good intentions or potentially malicious intentions. Food for thought. Love the stream." I will say, I think we've seen with every mythical Devil Fruit user so far, correct me if I'm wrong, we've seen this with Yamato, we've seen this with Luffy, we've seen this with Lucci Awakened form, we've now seen this with Killingham, with the Kirin. I believe that the little like white scarf loop smoke thing probably has to do with symbolizing that they're a zone user. Like either an Awakened zone user or a mythical zone user in some way, shape, or form. Because you're right, we have seen that with a lot of the characters, and we have seen that with some of the other not the Holy Knights, the other Gorosei as well. So I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, the Hagoromo scarf. I always forget the exact name of that, though. People bring that up all the time. The smoke. I just call it a smoke ring. It's the easiest way to describe it for me. But thank you, again, Joker's Fallen One. Appreciate it. I also love the idea, that maybe it could be like white or black, like a yin or yang type thing, balancing out their beliefs. It's kind of cool. Yeah, smoke scarf works. Exactly. J-Man Joestar came through and said, "Sup, Roger, if we do get a God Valley 2.0, maybe Saul is going to take the bullet for real this time. Also, Robin is here, and the Holy Knights don't know about her yet, so she could also be a huge prize for the game as well. As for Loki, I assume that once he's free, his devil fruit powers will heal him. That is true, because we know that he's got apparently a sun god devil fruit power. It might be something similar to, yeah, like Luffy unlocks the chains, boom, you see the fire healing him, and Loki's ready to go to take on the God Knights. I love that idea. That's kind of cool. Could you imagine I already can envision the manga panel in which Luffy opens up the key, saves Loki, said, we're going to get you out of here. Loki says something about the Holy Knights. It enrages Luffy. And then you get this amazing bump, ba-da, ba-da, da-da, as the chains are falling off. And it's like, ba-da, da-da, and Loki starts smiling, da-da, dun, da-da, and you see the wounds healing, dun, dun, da-da, da-da, and then he like finally moves back a little bit and steps away from the tree, and it's like, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, bump, bump. Then you see Loki pushing himself off the ground, bump, ba-dum, ba-ba-boom, ba-dum, da-da, and then it cuts to the final thing, bump, ba-dum, bump, 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 and it's Luffy, Gear 5 Nika form, standing face to face with Sun God Devil Fruit, whatever kind of Devil Fruit Loki has as he's coming back from the chains. Incredible, bro. I can't wait for that chapter already. I want to see it already, man. Incredible, incredible stuff. Wow. I'm telling you, Elbaf is good. Again, see, people, whenever they got mad at me during Whole Cake Island and during some parts of Dressrosa and during parts of Wano, when I said I had issues, it's because I know the series can be peak like this. So to me, when bad things start happening or things start getting dragged out, the reason I'm tough on Oda is not because like I'm a One Piece hater or whatever dumb shit people like to say about me online. It's not that. It's clearly this. It's things like today, where we're like going live and celebrating this awesome chapter filled with all these amazing revelations and all these ties to other series. Like, this is One Piece at its best. And that has been One Piece through and throughout the course of Elbaf. It's like, Elbaf is just so unbelievably good, man. It's so good. It's Oda at his finest. There's so much good stuff fed in. Incredible, man. Also, Jimmy's in here saying, you got to stretch and water break. I got you, Jimmy. I got you. I'll stretch. We've been going for a while. This is a pretty long stream. We've been going for an hour and a half. But we've had a lot of people in here, lots of new subscribers, lots of new members. It's been lovely. All right, here we go. I'm stretching. There you go. I got my water right here, Jimmy. Here we go. Got to make sure our boy stays hydrated and stretchy. I got you. Jimmy. Thank you for the reminder. All right, we got another message, another Nakama message, saying, ahoy, Roger. Glad to see that Shanks vouches for Luffy to Gaban. For some reason, people think that Shanks will be an antagonist, but this honestly counters that theory. I agree. Shanks vouching for Luffy, for Gaban, Gaban putting the key down, saying, look, I yield, we're all good. After acknowledging once he went Gear 5, oh, that's him, all dressed in white, here we go, let's go. I agree. Shanks is not going to be bad. Now that we know that Shamrock exists and that there's an evil twin, of course Shanks is going to stay good. The Shanks villain theories, they can all be thrown out, I think, at this point. There's no world in which Shanks is bad now. Even if he grew up, right, and comes from like a celestial dragon family, that wasn't his actual family. Roger pirates were his family. You know what I mean? Buggy was his family. It was Gaban and Rayleigh and the rest of them. You know, his family is not Garling. His family's not a Shamrock. You know, again, the themes of One Piece are found family. That's a big reason why so many people love this series, or like the themes of found family, and like you don't have to be tied to your actually family name. So again, it parallels a lot of things that we already love about the series, and we've seen in other things. So again, he doesn't need to be bad. Exactly. Also, Jimmy, exactly. You got to get the heck out of here because you will be spoiled on stuff. My man is still back in Wano country. Not even. You're in Zo. You're about to hit Whole Cake. So definitely get out of here before you get spoiled, Jimmy. Appreciate the hydration reminder, though. That's good. All right, we got one other one in here from King Waffle saying, a theory I wanted to explore. This one is from Three Skull Joe on Twitter. That's Liam's #1 archenemy. I know that. Three Skull Joe, who says, the Blackbeard pirates might already be in Elbaf. You have to remember, Katarina Devon copied Saturn's appearance and therefore possesses the Abyss Mark that would be necessary to use the Pentagram fast travel. She may have even warped herself there already with the Holy Knights. Now, while I don't think this is likely, What would they be after in Elbaf if this turned out to be true? I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, they straight up said at the end of this chapter, right? I mean, they want to get the giant kids. They've been siphoning out these kids for years and selling them to the world government. They said right here, you want us to kidnap kids and take them to the Holy Land, but they're too big to stuff in the sacks. Dude, 110%, that's what they're going. My man, bro, Joker's Fallen One came through with a $50 donation coming in towards the end of the stream with this too. I will make sure to read that out in a little bit. Thank you very much, Joker. Nakama. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. What I will say though, hold on, is that in relation to what Blackbeard might want, I don't necessarily think he would want like the giant kids, but I do think Blackbeard would want something from Elbaf, either the treasure. He doesn't necessarily know about the treasure being ransacked within the castle. He might know that Gaban is here. He might already know who Gaban is. Blackbeard, you have to remember, has intelligence everywhere. So Blackbeard might be after things that we as the reader don't even know about right now that are present in Elbaf. Whether that's like Poneglyph, because we don't know where the final Road Poneglyph is, right? Who's to say it's not in Elbaf? I mean, it would make sense that it's in Elbaf. I think there's two places. I think the final Road Poneglyph's in one of two places, right? Final Road Poneglyph is either being held in Marijoa, which is why no one's found it after all these years. It's being like kept away in that giant vault castle that Imu was in, right? Pangea Castle. It's hidden in there somewhere, so no one else could find it. It's either there, or it's in Elbaf, right? That somewhere in Elbaf, the giants, or in the library, there's like a rubbing of that Poneglyph. It's in one of those two places. Again, we're in the end game now. We're in the final saga. So it's got to be something like that. So them being after a Poneglyph would make a lot of sense if they know that there's a Poneglyph rubbing here. Also, them just like wanting to take down another pirate crew, right? We saw Kid rolled up on Elbaf to fight Shanks and to look for the man with the burn scar, who my assumption is now Gaban with the little marked by flames thing. Could be that. But also, it could just be that like he wants to cause chaos, and he knows Luffy is there, and he knows the God Knights are here, and he wants to maybe make Full Lead part of, you know, the actual world government. There's any number of things that Blackbeard want to do. So, yeah. Also, it is kind of wild, too, that now we have a name for the pentagrams being the Abyss. Exactly. The Abyss markers. That is cool. Very, very cool, man. Also, wow, the fact 20 different people sent super chats this time around. Incredible stuff, dude. Wow. All right, we got another one brought up by Clax, who said here, I wonder if, this is from the Nakama room, who said, I wonder if Scopper has actually trained to have an equal skill level of observation, conquerors, and armament. We know people tend to have one they're better at, even if they have access to another, so I'm thinking Luffy might need to improve the types of hockey he doesn't excel in. Perhaps he's going to learn more about infusing hockey rather than just using it on himself all the time. I know you ended up bringing this up during the stream, but that's all I got. Look, don't worry about it, Clax. I still think it's a good topic of conversation, and I completely 100% agree that I feel like because he's a master of all three, that is going to be the final step to unlocking Luffy's full potential, right? Once Luffy is able to learn how to like infuse the Conqueror's Haki into stuff and like actually fully utilize the breadth of his abilities the same way like Shanks was doing Conqueror's Haki Wi-Fi to knock out Green Bull, I feel like it'd be something kind of similar, where then the more he works with Gaban, after he finds out who Gaban really is later on in the story arc, once Gaban actually shows his face again because the God Knights are wreaking havoc, or they're doing like a God Valley 2.0 type deal here in Elbaf, I totally believe that there's going to be something in which he's training up his hockey again. I even think that could be like a post-arc thing going into Final War. Yeah, precision point conquerors would be incredible. Exactly. Also, Stefan Dog came through. Bro, Joker coming through again. This is insane. Another donation from Joker. Thank you very, very much, Nakama. Again, I'm ended the stream with you. My man sent the 50 and the 25. Joker said, I want to be the final donation of the stream. This man came through at the ending. Yo, thank you very much, Joker. W for Joker in the chat. Absolutely. Stefan Dog in the Nakama room said, I don't know if somebody brought this up earlier, but something minor that I've seen is that Gunko might have been a former revolutionary, since she wears a hat and goggles similar to the other revolutionary members. You know, somebody actually brought that up on one of the previous One Piece live stream conversations that we had. I think it was right after her full introduction, right? That she looked kind of similar to Koala. I've seen a theory online that she was potentially related to Lindbergh. You know how Lindbergh has this, Lindbergh the cat has like the same hat and has the same goggles? I've seen a theory that someone brought up. I forgot like the full extent of the theory. There was like a whole story this guy made up for like the connection between Gunko and Lindbergh, and I wish I could remember it, but there's so many theories obviously I see. If you look up Lindbergh Gunko theory, I'm sure you're gonna find it. I know it was on Twitter, I know it was posted to some subreddits, but it was basically like the idea that Gunko was like raised by Lindbergh, and Gunko essentially was kidnapped at a very young age and then brought into the world government as like a bargaining chip for the revolutionaries. Go look it up. But there's definitely like a whole interesting theory about it, and that Gunko maybe has, because Gunko's got the bandages and the arrows wrapped around her face, that Gunko, when we see the bandages unwrapped, might actually have like cat whiskers, and that there's like that relationship there with Lindbergh. Again, it's an interesting theory. I don't know if I necessarily buy it, but I do like the idea that like she's bandaged up for a reason on her face, and that maybe she's obviously like either ashamed of like her potential half mink heritage if she is related to Lindbergh, and we know Lindbergh's a mink being like a cat, or if she's related and just has features of a cat. We've seen that similar with like the dude Nezumi, right, back in Arlong Park, who had like features of a rat but isn't actually a rat, but his nose and his whiskers made him look like one. If there's maybe something similar with her where she looks kind of like a cat underneath the bandages and she's covering it all up. But again, we'll see. Look it up. Lindbergh Gunko connection theory. Yeah. All right. And then finally, last but not least, rounding out what has been an awesome, awesome stream this morning, rounding out the rest of it, we got one from Joker's Fallen One, who says here, Roger, I wanted to say that my brother Walter has watched you since Dressrosa, and today he's going to be leaving for a little vacation. Before he left, he thought that Gunko might be a Revolutionary Army member recruited by the Holy Knights that could be a double agent. Bro, perfect timing with that donation, Joker, considering what we were just talking about with Gunko. I like the idea, though, that she's also a double agent. That's a different thing I haven't heard about. That maybe, yeah, like you said, she could be a double agent working with Lindbergh's side of things, covering up the cat features that would make her stand out amongst the other God Knights. I kind of like that, actually. And that it could be a double agent. I like the idea of like a double agent within the Revolutionaries. I also really like the idea of Gunko potentially being a double agent, because then that would be an immediate pull to bring the Revolutionaries here to Elbaf, right? Because again, they straight up said in this chapter that the situation in the Holy Land is dire, right? That things are looking bad in Marijoa right now, which would lead you to believe that this would be the perfect time to strike. Obviously, revolutionaries struck during the Reverie to save Kuma and Sabo and all that other stuff too. But if you have a fight on two fronts, right? You've got half of the people fighting in Marijoa and the other half of the people being brought here on Elbaf, and you got two sections of the revolutionaries. You fold Dragon into all this. You fold Shamrock into this. I mean, there's a lot of different ways the story could go, and all of it is really exciting. So, yeah, I'm glad your brother brought that up. Also, Joker's Fallen One said, my brother also believes in his true heart that the final Road Poneglyph is actually behind Loki. Oh! My brother believes in his true heart that the final Road Poneglyph is hidden behind Loki. That way it would be protected and no one else could take it. I love that concept. That actually he's like, because thinking about it, wait a minute. We know there's probably something obscured in the mural where you see Frankie standing in front of the big tree, right? Loki is obviously at the base of the tree. What if what Frankie was standing in front of in the mural was the marker of a poneglyph at the base of the Atom Tree in Elbaf, and that Loki, being chained up to it, right, is actually concealing where the poneglyph is? I love that idea. Oh, I love that. Man, that's a good idea. I never even considered that might be the case. It could be in a hole in the roots or something. Maybe, yeah. Wow, that's a great one. I love that. I love that theory. Absolutely love it. All right, well, we have been going for what, an hour and a half? This has been an absolutely lovely, lovely stream. My big question at the end of all this, we're cooking. The content is going to keep rolling for the next week, because not only do I have Twitch streams coming up the next couple days, tomorrow I'm doing those Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood watch-throughs, doing continuations of that, playing more Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, which, by the way, shout out to all the new Yakuza subscribers. We got like 2K new subscribers last night from that Yakuza stream, so thank you very, very much. We're going to be playing more of that on Twitch tomorrow and Tuesday. Then Wednesday, I'm going to be live here again with my full live playthrough of Honkai Star Rail 3.1. And then Thursday, early in the morning, we got the Pokemon Presents. And then Friday's Monster Hunter launch. And then Sunday, we've got this. And potentially a stream on Saturday doing solo leveling. Banger after banger after banger this week. Lots of exciting content. Lots of cool stuff to do. Thank you once again, everybody. Greatly appreciate you all being here. Like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Nakama! Take care, everybody. Have a lovely weekend. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye. So long.